Episode 3, we're going to be doing the rod bolt swap to APR rod bolts and throwing in the cam, and after that we're either going to put the heads on and measure the actual push rod clearance, or we're going to be doing the wire harness that we're going to play by ear. I've been asked by a couple people to go a little in depth on the car. I haven't really talked about it that much, so that's what I'm going to do right now. It is a 1992 Nissan 240SX S13, for people who know it by that term. It is the hatchback version. It came with the 4-cylinder, I want to say it's the KA24, but I'm not confident. But it doesn't have that motor anyway, regardless. It does not have a 4-cylinder in it anymore. When I bought the car, the motor that was originally in it blew up because the previous owner put a turbo on it and ran too much boost and blew it up, and he still wanted it before he sold it. So he ripped it out for me. I picked up the car, brought it here. This build is going to consist of 3 phases. Phase 1 is to get the car to run off this motor and hopefully that transmission, T56, 6-speed, and able to drive it to work, able to drive it down the street, not necessarily drift ready. Phase 2, after the car is running off these things, I want to put the PBM drop knuckles on it so I can run dual calipers. I was recommended to do that compared to buying the adapter for just running dual calipers. So I can hook up my hydraulic e-brake that I have, and also looking more into the suspension and really getting ready to start going to the track. I've never personally drifted before. It's just something I've always wanted to do for a very long time. Phase 3 is going to be something that I've definitely never done before. I'm going to be focusing on converting the front end into a tubular front end, which basically consists of cutting everything forward of the strut towers with the exception of the frame rails off and running a tubular front end for rigidity and protection purposes. I've seen a lot of drift guys out there do it, and I really want to do it. I don't have the knowledge to do it, but I never know unless you try. So that, along with a roll cage, and more than likely completely repainting the car. And once that happens, the car will be done. I doubt it, but I'll be confident in the car, and then hopefully just little things, tweaking it here and there, and really just getting a lot of track time whenever I can. So today, what we're going to focus on is swapping the APR bolts in for these, because I gacked one of these on the last episode, and I'm going to show you how to remove these bolts. I saw a guy do it. I'm pretty sure, shout out to Jeg's Garage. He built an LQ4 and I've really been watching him, and he showed me a little trick on how to get these out. Now my APR bolt is in snugly, not torqued down. I'm going to remove the old bolt and the shroud that is holding it in. So that's just pulling and jerking it back and forth, and there it goes. Now it's out. There's the shroud with it, and I'm going to throw the other APR bolt in here and move on to the next two. It has finally arrived. The Texas Speed and Performance Bald Eagle cam is to go in the engine. The cam bearings were replaced by Machine Shop, Al's Engines Works in East Wareham, Massachusetts. But before we put it on, I'll put it in. Let's take a moment and appreciate this thing. This thing is sweet. It's just a work of art. I haven't seen that many cams in my lifetime, but from what I can tell, this thing's pretty badass. Has a bald eagle on the end of it, guys. Doesn't get much more American than that. Maybe Budweiser and libraries. So, let's slap this in. So after installing the cam, I quickly realized that I don't know where the cam gear is. So that's it for tonight. It's getting kind of late. Tomorrow I'm gonna search this entire place. If I can't find it, I'm gonna go online and just order one. They're not that expensive. You can get a replacement for around 20 bucks or so. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Today I don't have work, and I'm going to take advantage of having the house to myself and rearrange the garage a little bit because it is messy. I'm going to pull the car out and spin it around for future stuff, and rearrange all the car parts. There's a lot of car parts I have in here that I don't need anymore, so those are more than likely going to get thrown in the trash. So it's just going to be a time lapse of me just moving stuff around. Finally finished cleaning the garage. It needed to happen. A lot of the leftover parts from the strip down I no longer needed. I just kept them around just in case. So those are all in the trash. And now another reason why I clean the garage is to find the cam gear, which I did. I have to clean it really quick with some Scotch Brite just to make it look pretty again. And then I'm going to slap it on, throw the chain on. Mark for top dead center on the cam, and the cam can only be placed on one way due to the little post that's sticking out, and the same thing for on the crank. So you want to ensure that these are perfectly lined up prior to installing the chain, because once you do that, that's it. Now when installing the chiming chain sprocket back on, you can look and you can see that there's a tick mark, and that's referring to top dead center on the cam, and you want to ensure that that is perfectly lined up with this tick mark. So if we zoom out, you can tell that this is directly pointing to that one, so my cam and crank are in sync when it comes to top dead center. Now that that's on there, I'm going to torque these down to 26 foot-pounds. Now to prime the oil pump, I have my oil that I will be using. This is just Valvoline, the correct weight conventional. I didn't want to use synthetic for the break-in stuff. So this stuff is what was recommended online to use, just normal name brand oil that you don't need anything crazy. So that's what we're gonna do. So what you want to do is just pour a little bit. Should be more than enough. Might have did a little too much, but that's right. And now we're gonna cycle the motor a couple times. And look, all of it went away. Well, I need So now that is primed, I'll probably do another prime right before I start it and get more into it, but that's basically it for now. Now we will throw on the valley cover over here, and then the oil pickup, and then the Caton Racing oil pan. And then the bottom portion of the engine is done. So yeah, let's get to it. Now that the oil pump is on, it's time to put in the valley pan on. And basically what that consists of is just placing it on here and torquing it on the main cap bolts. So, do it right now. Took a short break because I had to run to work and press in with the hydraulic press that I have there, the front seal and the rear main seal. So now I'm back and we're going to install the oil pickup, which is for the Caton Racing oil pan that we have. And this is a front sump, and for some reason in my mind I didn't think that I would have to remove that bolt right here for the pickup. But now I gotta take this off, retorque it, and throw this in. It came with an O-ring on it, which is nice, and be sure to oil these with the oil that you have prior to installing it onto your oil pump. So let's do that now. So finally, after a couple of days, I received the new LS1 ARP head bolts. LS1 is essentially the exact same block as this. The only difference is it's iron and it has a larger bore displacement. So right now, I'm going to slap these puppies in with the ARP torque lubricant, this stuff, and put all this in, torque them down. Let's get to it. So now we're ready to drop the push rods in along with the rocker arms. Now this is the rocker arm plate that holds all it on. And it was a pretty dark brown just from obviously being used because this motor had a pretty decent amount of miles on it. So I soaked it in that chemical that I keep referring to and never putting in the description. And these things look brand new. There is not any form of amount of discoloration anymore. They look like they just came out of the factory. Look at that color. Same thing, I soaked the rocker arms. Prior to installing the rocker arms, I'm going to feel them out with some assembly lube. And yeah, getting excited getting there. Got this, we got the timing chain, cover, and the rear main seal. And then when those are on, I can throw the oil pan on. And then when that's on, the valley cover, intake manifold, coil packs, injectors, spark plugs, flywheel, clutch, transmission, drive shaft, installation of the wire harness, squeeze, suck, bang, boom, and then we're going to start making power. Only a little bit that's left. But yeah, let's keep going.